It's story time with Noah. Today we're going to read from Whitehot magazine's The Best Art in the World, 20 Years of Noah Becker's Whitehot Magazine of Contemporary Art. Why? Because it's a new book that's available now everywhere, and it's really worth checking out. So we're going to try to read some of it. By the way, this is the Whitehot Magazine art vlog coming to you internationally on the magic of the internet. So, I'm going to read to you my interview with Donald Batchelor, the dearly departed painter. This is conversation between myself and Donald Batchelor. Donald Batchelor in conversation with Noah Becker. November 2017. Now let me give you a little bit of background on this. I was in Toronto at the time, and this was a phone interview, and I wasn't very sophisticated with recording interviews on Zoom or any kind of thing like that. So what I did was I had my my phone on speakerphone, and I recorded the conversation on my laptop. Incidentally, if you want to hear the conversation, the original conversation, it's on the Whitehot Art World podcast. Donald Batchelor in conversation with Noah Becker, November 2017. I spoke with the great Donald Batchelor on the eve of his new solo show opening Thursday, November 2nd, 2017 from 6 to 8 p.m. in New York City at Kime and Reed. Becker, you have a show opening at Kime and Reed. How many pieces will be in the show? Batchelor, Kime and Reed picked up a lot of work from my studio over the last few weeks, but I have the choices up to, left the choices up to John Kime. Sorry, it's dark in here. Give me a chance. He's great, I said. Batchelor, yes. He has a great sense of hanging shows and what belongs where, but I don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet. It might be sparse, it might be jammed full. Becker, was it work produced new specifically for the show? It's mostly works from this year, but there's one older painting I began to paint in 1998. Then I rolled the painting up, put it away, and moved studios a couple times. Becker, it was unfinished? Batchelor, I thought it was a wildly unfinished piece when I realized it was much more resolved than I thought. But then I saw it unrolled in the summer before last and did what had to be done to it. So that piece is included in the show. Becker, that's interesting when that happens. I also want to ask you about a few specific things relating to your work. I've followed it since the 90s. I think I saw your work for the first time in Soho in the 90s. Batchelor, I was represented by Tony Shafrazi back in those days, and I also worked with Paul Kasman. Becker, I see. And can you remind me about your personal history a bit? Batchelor, I was born in Connecticut, but my dad was a New Yorker and he was born here. Becker, I see. Batchelor, and moved up to Hartford to start a family. Becker, have you always worked in the style you are known for? Batchelor, you mean how some artists have massive sea changes in what they're doing? Becker, yes. Batchelor, and then destroy all of their work from before? Becker, I mean, did you start painting in a certain way and then arrive at your current style? Batchelor, it's a good question. I mean, I think there's an evolution that goes on, but that tends to slow down as one ages, I've discovered. But most artists say the same thing. Becker, so it was a big change? Batchelor, yes. Also, things that seem like big changes to an artist are not big changes to other people, But when I do lectures, I frequently start with slides of works that I did at an undergrad to show kind of continuity. Becker. So it's ongoing? Bachelor. A lot of interest that I continue to have, I had back when I was 19 or 20. Becker. Like the elements in your work that can go from simply painted things to more sophisticated things? Bachelor. What do you mean more sophisticated? Becker. Like flowers and other symbols that appear in your work are very specific. Other things that appear in your paintings have a simplicity to them. Bachelor. My work is quite often being compared to children's art. It's a reading of my work that I've never encouraged. I'm really not into that or interested in children's art. Becker. I don't think of children's art at all when I see your work. Bachelor. Artists, at least since the 19th century, have been interested in bringing their work back to a kind of primitive, childlike way. Picasso talked about that. Becker. I see. Bachelor. Obviously, that's there, but it's not something I dwell on. Becker. I'm fond of the collage aspect of your work. Tell me about the materials you work with. Bachelor. The paintings on canvas are all fabric collages. The paper works are usually paper. They both have some sort of look. They also have similar iconography, etc., but one is paper and one is canvas. Becker. In the past, I've seen the Polaroids and the paintings that Andy Warhol made of you. Andy painted your portrait. You experienced a legendary era in New York that doesn't really exist now. How do you feel about New York as an art scene these days? Bachelor. The paintings on canvas... Oh, sorry. I messed up. Bachelor. It's grown so many folds over the years. When I go here in 1977 to Cooper Union, even as a student, the art world seemed like a pretty small place. You could relatively quickly navigate your way around people, and it seemed like it was possible to sort of know everyone who was worth knowing. Becker. Bachelor. Now it seems like an ocean. I don't know how you find the center of the art world any longer. Becker. Bachelor. I think partly it's generational. Younger artists don't have any trouble finding what center they belong in, but there seems to be quite a few art centers these days. I wouldn't know where to start now if I was just starting. Becker. So what is the process you go through to make paintings? Do you kind of think about it or plan it? Bachelor. Everything starts with a drawing. One of my own drawings, or a drawing I did yesterday, or a drawing I did 10 years ago, or something I've collected. Becker. You appropriate things? Bachelor. I wouldn't use the word appropriation. There's a lot of reference to pre-existing imagery. Many drawings are drawings of other drawings, if that makes sense. Becker. Yeah. Bachelor. So everything starts with a drawing or a conglomeration of drawings. Becker. So that's where they start. Bachelor. The paintings really start with this pile of collage stuff that I've been working my way through, but the backgrounds are usually loaded with imagery. But now they're emptied out. There's no longer an iconographic program in the background like there used to be. I mean, I think you know those paintings. Becker. Yes, I do. Bachelor. I've emptied them out, and it's more about abstract marks, mark making and color deployment and things like that. Becker. I also saw the sculpture you made, the large sculpture. It's of a walking woman? Bachelor. Where did you see it? Becker. I saw a photograph of you. I think it was out in a field. Bachelor. There are a few versions of it. There's 3 10-foot tall versions that are in public collections, one in St. Louis walking down the sidewalk in the business district, one in Miami in a mall that has a lot of real art in it. And then we made a 30-foot tall version that's installed in Gabreski Airport in Long Island. It's right at the entrance to the airport. Becker. I was happy to see the sculpture because I'm so familiar with your paintings. It's of a woman walking, right? I call it a walking figure. It's a woman, but I also think it's gender ambiguous. Becker. What is it based on? Bachelor. It's based on a drawing I made in 1987. I was making sculptures sporadically in the 80s, and I hadn't found a way to do what was happening in the paintings and the sculptures. They seemed kind of divorced from each other until I found an insight into the flatness of my drawings and how they could work as a three-dimensional object. Becker. Bachelor. The walking figure we are talking about has a weird compression in it that only makes sense when looked at from one side, but if you look at it from the front or the back, it kind of disappears. Becker. So the show opening at Keim and Reed will be mostly drawings and paintings? Bachelor. There are 4 new bronzes. There are large but more than 3.5 feet high. I'm not sure if they will be in the show or if we'll get them from that foundry in time. But the show will be primarily recent paintings, and I don't think any works on paper, actually. Becker. Okay, thanks, Donald. I'm really looking forward to seeing the show. So that's kind of a nice interview. It's weird to I don't know, I'm still getting used to the fact that somebody published a real book out internationally with, you see your work. I see my work online a lot. I publish a lot of other people, but anyways, there'll be more about my new CD if you want to check out Nocturne. That's on all streaming music. I have some CDs on streaming music, another one called Mode for Noah. But enough about me. This has been the Whitehot Art Vlog, Episode 2. I'm Noah Becker. Have a wonderful December.